What up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie Casual, and it's about time we hit YEEZY. Not just the man, but the brand itself. Is it a big part of why we got here in fashion? What was its overall impact? What is its overall impact? Is it still relevant? That's the discussion that we're having today. I'm gonna go ahead and give you our viewpoints, and we're gonna talk about how YEEZY effed up the fashion industry. Let's get it. Alright, so before YEEZY was even a thing, in 2012, Kanye West released his first runway collection, DW. That's an acronym of his mom's name. It was by all accounts a daring first attempt, but fell short on delivery, at least by traditional industry standards. But it didn't stop Kanye from dreaming, because that is what that man does. It was a big leap for him. Kanye was a rapper, producer, entering into fashion like no artist before him. He didn't want to just wear the clothes he liked. He wanted to design, not just some streetwear brand. Bape and Nike collabs be damned. And with his trusty sidekick at the time, Virgil Abloh, Kanye set out to realize that dream of creating a collection that was impactful as his music. In 2015, YEEZY Season 1 dropped and was generally well received by audiences and critics. It was nothing really groundbreaking in terms of design, but it was an inspiring first attempt for the new YEEZY brand as a whole. Expectedly, the most notable successes were the line of sneakers that the collection birthed, marking the beginning of super duper uber sneaker hype because Kanye. But beyond that, the collection also formally introduced the world to Kanye's soon-to-be all-star lineup. You had Virgil Abloh, you had Jerry Lorenzo, and the relatively unknown at the time, Demi Lovato, who also helped with that collection. YEEZY's lasting impact, its legacy, was this very thing, introducing the world to a bigger, grander, and more prominent designer street market that for far too long been ignored by a relatively elitist industry. But no one could ignore the star-studded crowds that YEEZY was drawing, from rappers to actors, and even models from other runways were attending YEEZY shows. It was undeniable. Kanye's YEEZY opened up the door for the street community to not only get involved in wearing the clothes, but making them as well, the effects of which still reverberate today. And it wouldn't be long before staunch streetwear advocates became fashion heads, like true fashion heads, mulling over collections by Rick Owens, Ralph Simmons, Versace, and more. Norms were being challenged openly. Even collections from major houses began to cater to a generation that was more concerned with showing what brands they were wearing rather than what the brand itself represented. Now, beyond the clothes, conversations about diversity in the industry were now mainstream. They were no longer taboo. YEEZY itself leading the charge by employing models of all shapes, sizes, and colors on its runways. A subtle, low-key middle finger to an industry caught up in its mono-ethnic, body-conscious traditions. I mean, YEEZY even had the infamous Ian Connor smoking on stage at one point, and that wouldn't be the last time models from the YEEZY runways treated the events like laissez-faire situations. And let us not forget the madness of YEEZY Season 3. 20,000 packed in Madison Square Garden, which was, for lack of a better word, bananas. We all know how that went down. Now, all these grandiose displays resulted in a tumultuous and sometimes outright volatile relationship between the media and anything Kanye YEEZY related. Everything became a spectacle. YEEZY was bullying through a fashion media, trying desperately to dampen the influence of YEEZY hype. And if the direction of fashion was to go towards street, the fashion industry had to get a handle on that very narrative. Now, this tug of war led to YEEZY forging its own path, detaching its apparel division from Adidas, taking the show off the Paris runway for a time, and looking for more controllable ways to present the work. Now, this proved to be devastating, in a way, because the industry in all its power and infinite glory propped up Virgil Abloh, a far more palatable version of what YEEZY via Kanye was hoping to achieve, and we all know how that story goes. But it wasn't just that, it was Jerry Lorenzo, Matthew and Williams who was a part of that crew, and of course, Demi Lovato. They were all propped up. I mean, it didn't matter that for like 2 full years, Kanye's grunge ode to the London riots of 2011, YEEZY Season 1, actually became the style du jour. It actually became the trend. It didn't matter he had some of the most wanted sneakers available at the time. It didn't matter that he kept getting better as a designer. Objectively speaking, what mattered more was that YEEZY wasn't dominating the headlines like it used to. just in the sneaker world. It's fine if it's just over there. That's street, right? We don't need them over here infiltrating our vibe. And when stories were covered about Yeezy, at this time, the stories that were negative took top billing for sure. Like Kanye claiming he was discriminated in the industry because he wasn't gay, which is still low-key funny. Or the Yeezy F rating given to by the Better Business Bureau, or $600,000 court claims, or fainting models in 84-degree weather were clearly meant to diminish the influence of Yeezy. That's not to say that these stories weren't noteworthy. They certainly were, but it's incredibly hypocritical for an industry notoriously known for burning stories that make the industry look bad. But this is where the industry totally effed up. Many of the conversations in fashion were still being held by the same individuals that Yeezy opened the door for. But now they were getting older and savvier, and of course the internet. And many of these individuals still held Kanye and Yeezy in high regard. And even if they didn't, they saw through a lot of the hypocrisy. And that battle still rages on today. It's clear that Yeezy made it cool to like fashion. It made it dope to know about contrast stitching, pleating, or reverse weave fabrics from some mill in Italy. Yeezy inspired an entire generation of designers that would have been laughed out of the door years prior, but are now bona fide successes or are becoming bona fide successes. Yeezy effed up the fashion industry because the industry itself was unwilling to change. So this is not a negative F up. This is a positive one. And whether you like it or love it, Yeezy is a big reason why we could talk about designer fashion from a street perspective. It didn't have to be the best. It just needed to have impact, and it achieved that. It's a victory, perhaps not the one that Ye hoped for, but nonetheless, this is an F up that we probably would have welcomed. But it ain't all about this. It's about everybody. So we're gonna have a discussion. Give your take on the Yeezy impact in the comments. Do you agree with this assessment? Do you disagree? Let it be known. Why? Why? Just put it down. And let's try to be like cordial. Don't be internet dumb. That's what I like to call it. Like, don't be internet dumb. This dude is whack. That doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't spur on the conversation. We could actually have a discussion about this for all those who are about to go crazy. Anyway, give a thumbs up if you like this video. Follow on Instagram for the latest out of Japan and beyond, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion and culture from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And now, Japanese lesson time. All right, so today I want to teach you how to ask questions. Just 2 questions, actually. We're going to learn how to say where is something and what is something. These are very important, especially if you're coming to Japan for the first time. You're definitely going to want to know where something is and what something is. All right, so first we're going to do what is it. All right, so many of you who've probably watched Japanese animation, you've probably heard a person say nani, right? Yeah, nani is what in Japanese, but you don't want to keep on going up to Japanese people saying nani, nani. What you're going to do is say nan desu ka, nan desu ka. Nan desu ka means what is it? Nan desu ka. So you can essentially point at anything and say nan desu ka, nan desu ka, nan desu ka. Right? So there you go. That's how you say, what is it? All right, so where is something? Where in Japanese is doko. And so all you have to say is doko desu ka? Doko desu ka? Doko desu ka? Doko desu ka? And you can just keep on saying that and people will just say, oh, okay, yeah, it's over there. All right, so what's also great about these 2 little question words like nan desu ka, doko desu ka, you actually get to learn a very simple grammar concept, and that is ka. Ka at the end of any sentence means that it's a question. All right, very simply. There's more ways to use ka, but normally, like 95% of the time, ka at the end of a sentence means it's a question. So, nan desu ka? Doko desu ka? You're asking questions, which is the reason why you don't want to say nani, right? You just want to say nan desu ka? Doko desu ka? Now, there are other ways to ask a question. Some people say nan nano or doko nano. Right? Those also mean what is it and where is it. But for right now, I want you to learn like the way that you're supposed to say it. Because usually when you say nan nano, it's like you're talking to a friend, right? Or you say doko nano, doko, like that's usually to a friend. You don't want to go up to a, a person like your boss and be like, hey doko? Hey doko nano? Nani? You don't do that. Nan desu ka? Doko desu ka? Is the best way to do it, and everybody understands. So that's your lesson. Remember all of those. And we out.